Off we go.
Okay, hi folks, Everard or Jason. I'm just doing a quick presentation to help people with their training on how to use a mask tester. We're required to test a mask once every 2 years, or at any time that we feel or identify that there is a problem with the mask. It might be, it appears to be a broken weld, it could be a really bad dent, or it could just be that one of the wires that makes up the mesh is a bit squished. Right, first of all, when we test a mask, a couple of people, I think 1 or 2 groups have actually tested the bib. As they're only 350, they will fail. You don't need to test that. You've got the mask, the hood underneath that's been independently tested. Just think of that bit, the bib, as a bit of extra padding. Okay, so second of all, if we're going to test a mask, the first thing we do is do a visual inspection, and what we're looking for is any broken welds, any of the mesh that seems to have slid apart. So I'd like to run my hand over it just to make sure you can feel if there's any broken wires or anything that was jagged. That feels okay. So next what you will do is then get the mask tester. But one we've prepared earlier that has got some dents. I'll just come over here, and you know, you look at this, I'm not sure if it, the other thing you look for is rust spots. So we'll just have a look. There's a little bit of rust down here. You find that there's often a lot of rust down where people breathe. So what I'm going to do, actually, look here, there seems to be possible damage here. Did you pick that up, Dean?
It's a little fuzzy, but
bit fuzzy? Okay. So what you want to do is you want to use the mask tester. Now I'm just going to quickly demonstrate, and then I'm going to pull the mask tester apart and show you in more detail how it works. So what I would want to do is come square onto the damage, and you place this not on the wire. If you were to think your classic noughts and crosses game, you place this right in the middle square, so it actually goes between the gaps, and you can probably see here there's that little step. There's a spring inside of here, and you want to press it down so that becomes level with that there, and that is at 12 kilos. They're meant to be calibrated, so I'll go square on. Don't put your hand right underneath it, guys, because if it fails it goes in, it hurts. And I go in, and what you'll notice is this has failed. It's gone right through and stuck in. And if I don't know if you can catch that, you can see it's gone through there. Right, this would be a fail. Now, we knew this one was going to fail, and we wanted to show you it. So you'll remove that from the game, and as you can see, what's happened is these are chemically welded, and it's actually parted. And so it's caused a nice little hole that's dead. Let's get one that hopefully, this is mine, it better not fail. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on. The thing you want to do when you're using one of these, if you place your thumb over here, you've got a tendency to start to do this, which instead of actually applying the pressure evenly around all 4 sides of the hole and all 4 welds, it can actually place a lot of pressure on one spot, causing a problem. I prefer to actually hold it in my hand, so this bit here sort of pushes in there. It's a lot more stable. So I'm just going to pick a random spot. So is that a good height, Dan?
Yep.
So I go in, and you can see that's gone down, and that's what a pass looks like. What you would do is, there's no damage on this one, there's no rust spots to check, so I'd probably just do a few spots down here, maybe around where the eyes, and lower down, and a few down this side as well, and then you'll pass it and write your little SAM sticker. Now, Before you do any mast inspections, you want to make sure this piece of kit is actually working. Just the other week, I had stored this in with my weights, which is 2 weights tied together with wax linen. In the heat of the day, the wax came off, caught on here, and caught some grit, and it actually made its way inside the mast tester, so I could apply enormous amounts of pressure, and this fin would only budge in just a mil or two. And so if I hadn't done a quick pre-test, and what that would probably be is just go up to something solid and just make sure that it's working. If it fails, or it doesn't seem to be acting too well, what you do is you pull this apart, right, a spring, cap. Dean, you might want to come in closer, right, and you've got the pin there. Right, if you're having any problems, probably get some pipe cleaners, clean inside there. You'd probably give this a little bit of a hand polish, make sure that you clean it off all grit, and this is when it becomes really easy. Alright, so now there's no spring in it, we can probably get a really good action. You want to actually press it so that little step here meets the flat of that. Okay, it's really easy without a spring. Shove the spring in. You go. This is a bit tricky. Right, that's it. Probably service. Screw it all the way in. Then just go back up. Make sure it's working. That's pretty much it. It's not all that hard. Again, if you have any damage, well, here's another mast that will fail, I think, from memory. Quite often, looking down the ridge here, that's where, especially if people are doing CT, you might find a lot of damage. Gindy's mast is rather interesting. It's got an odd wire that's still welded, but it's slightly out of whack. But if you test, say that was the wire slightly skew with, you would test all 4 around any suspect areas to identify any poor welds. All 4 of his squares actually passed, so there was no reason to bounce that mask. Let's just find another sus area that we might get a failure in. By the way, these are very old, dead masks. So we pretty much just use these to train people up on how to use the equipment. There's a bit of a dent there. I reckon we might get a failure here. So what's that one there? That was pretty obvious. A fail. It made a lovely little click. Really, what I would do, other than I'm going to use this for testing, I would probably much jump on this and chuck it in the bin. Right, it can't be used that way. But don't do that if you don't actually belong to the mask. Oh, here's something else that we get when, actually Dean, if you come in a bit closer, people who have the hoods sort of permanently fitted over the mask, that's what I actually had on this one. At one stage I was using it for training at home. You find they'll often get a lot of rust under those permanent hoods. Apart from that, if you have any questions, let us know. These mast testers, the Kingdom is purchasing with the assistance of the Rowanee Fighter Fund, 5 or 6 of these, I can't recall. If your group needs access to one of these and your group has decided not to go to the expense of buying one, contact myself and we'll post it out to you, and then you post it back to us when you're finished. That's pretty much it. Thanks.